Hi, my name is Daniel Posney, and this is called Shifting Perspectives. And this morning, the topic is about now. It's about time, space, reality, and that all there is this now moment. Now is not in between the past and the future. So that thing right there, we usually see like there's this timeline. We see the past behind us, and then we're in this now moment, and then there's the future in front of us. So when we we look into the future, we look forward into the future. And when we look at our memory, look at the past, we're looking at our memories. And but the thing is that when we are looking in those places, we're in the now moment looking at those places. We can never get away from this now moment. And now is a pretty good word that kind of describes something that's almost indescribable. That everywhere we go, anywhere in time or any memory that we go, we're going there in this now moment right here. I'm right here, right now. My body is here. That's what we call the now moment, is being, existing here. And it's infinite, it's eternal. And the eternal nature of this now moment is it's ever present. It was never not here. It's always is. Um, we see our reality through this lens of time and space with the illusion of what we call past and future. So I want to talk about why we never see the end of the galaxies. And I was thinking about this, when I was a kid, one of the questions that I had was how far do these galaxies, or how far does the universe go? Space. So I'm on this planet, and it's a definite time space reality, and I'm on this planet in space. But then there's other planets, and then there's other galaxies, and then beyond the galaxies, there's the whole universe. But because of the way that our mind works, it wants a beginning and an end. But now doesn't work that way. And maybe the whole world doesn't work that way. And it's so weird to contemplate that. So I thought, well, if the universe went for a long, 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 far, 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 far away, okay, but what's beyond that? Is there like a wall? That's how our mind goes. That there must be some physical thing that says this ends and that starts. But that's just the nature of this reality, of the time space reality. It's so weird to think about that. So just let that simmer for a little bit. The other question is why we never really know anything or know anyone. Well, if we're always looking through the lens of time and space, then there's always some kind of distortion going on. And if we're seeing through some kind of distortion, if we're getting our perception of the reality through our mind, we're never really seeing the truth of whatever it is that we're looking at. When I look at a tree, I'm never really seeing and knowing the tree. I'm just seeing the distortion through this reality of that thing. It's like they say, when a child is shown what a bird is, the next time they see a bird, they only see their thoughts, not the bird. I know it's a weird thing to start to contemplate that you're seeing things like the way that Rupert Spira talks about it is like if you decide to go skiing and you put on orange sunglasses, and every time you went skiing, in fact, the whole day long you wore orange sunglasses, you'd start to get used to seeing everything as orange. And that's kind of how our mind works, that we're wearing these glasses of the mind that changes the reality to fit what we're in. But if we take off the glasses, we get to see the reality. And maybe that's what death is, that we take off the glasses of time space. The original thought about this whole topic was about why is it that we lose this effect of time when we sleep? What happens to time when we sleep? And the short answer is that when you sleep, your mind isn't active. And the mind is what gives it that filter of time, space, reality. So then my next question was, well, what about dreams? If my mind isn't active, what about dreams? Well, when I'm dreaming though, there isn't the effect of time. I have no idea how long I was asleep. I don't know if I was asleep for 5 minutes or 5 hours. And I can go and have an amazing experience from different planets in multiple dreams, and it all just happened in 5 minutes or whatever. So there is the part of it that we start tapping into the collective consciousness or different realms and that kind of thing. But the time space reality, we can do anything in the dream because there's not that time space, there's not the hindrance of that time space. You're in the now right now. You'll always be in the now. When you have the memory of when you were 5 years old, you're having the memory of that, but in the now. And when you were back then, when you were 5 years old, you were in the now. When you thought of the future, when you thought about being 10 years old, you were having that thought in the now. Now doesn't move. So the idea is that there's this timeline of past and then the now in the center, and then there's the future, that the now is moving along this timeline, but it's not moving anywhere, it's not going anywhere, it's not doing anything, it's just being. Now is eternal, it's ever present. Time is never experienced. So what's happening is that the mind is putting the effect of, or the illusion of time space into what we perceive. So we're not seeing time happen in front of us. It's our mind that is changing the reality to fit that time space reality. So this idea, I don't know, it's just really weird to think that time and space don't exist. It's a perceived function of this reality, which makes me wonder, if there's no real time and space, what does reality really look like? Well, we would not know because the body that perceives is in the time space reality. So you can't really perceive what reality is outside of time and space unless you have some kind of out of mind experience where you experience something that's outside of that. When we sleep, we don't experience time because no mind is present in the sleep. Time and space do not belong into the world, it belongs to the mind. That was a hard one for me to get. Time and space is not like a law. It's not a universal law that there is time and that there is space. There are certain things that are laws in the time space reality, but outside of that, time and space don't exist on their own. It's things that our mind conjures up to make sense of, to work in this reality. What about the rotation of the Earth and movement of or movement of planets and galaxies? If there's no time space, what about that the Earth is turning? Yeah, but the Earth is part of this time space reality. It's an object inside the reality, and so is the galaxy, and actually so is the universe. And that's why we'll never see the end of the universe, because it's all part of that perception that there is time and that there is space, there is length to things. But once we come out of that time and space reality, that whole thing disappears, I imagine. So anything that you perceive in this reality is how you perceive it through the filter or through the lens of time and space. So you can't question, why is, if there is no time and space, we're only in the now moment, then what about things outside of us, or what about things beyond us, planets and galaxies? Well, if they're objects and things inside that reality, then they all playing with that rule of time and space. If we are seeing and interpreting with our mind, then it all is being filtered by our mind. All of it, every single thing that we see and we perceive is being filtered through the mind. It's being filtered to fit this time-space reality. That's the three-dimensional or fourth-dimensional reality. So let's do a little meditation and see where this lands us. I invite you to close your eyes, take a deep breath, exhale all the way down. Could it be that this world that you are in and experiencing and perceiving is a dream of the mind? You, the dreamer, are not in the time-space reality, but are dreaming of the time-space reality. You, the dreamer, are outside of time, outside of space. You are in the reality of formless, non-physical. In the dream, you need the physical because there's time and space. In the dream, you need form to represent energy. Outside the dream, there's no need for that. Inside the dream, you need a personality. You need an identity. And naturally, there comes this illusion of separation, me and you, this and that. Outside the dream, there's no this and that. If it has form, it's inside the dream. Or like Papa G, great spiritual teacher, would say, if it has form, it's not real. In the dream, if it has form, it's real. To the dream. Outside the dream, no form. Now, where is God in all this? If God is in all things, as all things, where is God? Is God the dreamer? Now, when you think of that, reduce that idea or change that the perception or the vision of that idea that the dreamer has to have a body. Got to take that out of there because the body is part of the time space reality. There doesn't need to be a head or a mind to be a dreamer. It's a conjurer. It's an impulse. It's a creation out of the quantum field or out of the field with no person needing to be there. And if you're struggling with this at all, that's good. It means we're doing something. If you weren't struggling with the idea of this, it would be in the time space reality. It would be understandable. But because we're trying to contemplate this from the time space reality into outside of that, the mind has a hard time with that. It's hard to put language to that. And yet we can kind of play in that, play in the edges of that. Now, if you realize that you were the dreamer having a dream, you were also the character in the dream. From truth, from outside the time space reality, what would you want yourself to know? What idea would you want yourself to let go of? How would you want you to see the world? this dream. Take a deep breath. Exhale all the way down. Thank you for playing. I hope this inspires some deeper thought about who you really are. What physical reality is. How it kind of needs to be this way, but there's a lot more to it than outside this reality. Have a beautiful day. Bless you.